You chose this loser life. Yeah, I said it. Because deep down, you already know it's true. Every late morning, every excuse, every I'll start tomorrow. That wasn't fate. That was you. You built this reality brick by brick, then stood there acting shocked when the walls closed in. Life isn't some vending machine where you punch in a dream and it spits out success. It's a fight. And while you were scrolling, complaining, waiting for motivation to magically appear, someone else was out there grinding like the world owed them nothing because it doesn't. The harsh truth, you've been choosing the path of least resistance your whole life. Comfort became your best friend, mediocrity became your roommate, and now you're wondering why you feel stuck. But here's the plot twist: the minute you decide you're done being average, everything shifts. The second you take responsibility, you take power. So if you hate where you're standing right now, good. That's the spark. That's the pressure that turns people into something stronger. You don't have to stay a loser. Unless you keep choosing to be one, your next move decides everything. The life you're living right now is the direct result of your own choices. People love pretending their situation just happened to them, like life threw them into some random simulation where nothing is their fault. But that's the biggest lie we tell ourselves to feel better about staying stuck. Every habit you repeated, every goal you ignored, every time you hit snooze instead of getting up, all of it, stacked up and shaped the reality you're standing in right now. It wasn't destiny, it wasn't bad luck, it wasn't some mysterious cosmic test. It was your decisions, one after another, small and quiet, building the life you either brag about or complain about. Most people don't understand how much power they actually have. They think they're trapped when really, they're just choosing the easiest route every single day. They choose the comfort of doing nothing over the discomfort of growth. They choose to complain instead of taking action. They choose temporary pleasure over long-term payoff, and then they look around shocked, wondering why nothing in their life looks like the dream they keep talking about. But life isn't a wish list, it's a scoreboard of your choices. Once you start seeing your life this way, things get real very fast. The late nights you waste, they show up in your results. The boundaries you never set, they show up in your stress. The people you surround yourself with, they show up in your mindset. Everything leaves a mark. Everything adds up. It's actually empowering when you think about it, because if your choices created your current situation, then different choices can create a different one. You're not powerless, you're just not being honest with yourself. The life you have right now is simply the life you selected, whether you admit it or not. Comfort and excuses are the silent traps that keep people stuck. They're sneaky because they don't feel harmful in the moment. Comfort feels warm, safe, familiar. Excuses feel logical, justified, even smart sometimes. You tell yourself you're protecting your energy, or waiting for the right time, or not feeling ready yet. And while all that sounds harmless, those tiny choices slowly wrap around you like invisible chains. Before you know it, you've spent years sitting in the same spot, living the same day on repeat, wondering why nothing in your life is gaining momentum. Comfort doesn't scream, it whispers. Excuses don't shove you backwards. They just block you from moving forward. That's what makes them dangerous. Most people think failure stops them, but honestly, comfort is way more lethal. Failure hurts for a moment. You learn something, and you move. Comfort keeps you numb. It convinces you that the bare minimum is fine, that your dreams can wait, that you deserve to take it easy, because life is stressful. And the wild part is, you start believing it. You start defending your own limitations like they're precious. You start building entire stories to justify why you can't change right now. That's how people end up living half-lived lives, not because they're incapable, but because they chose cozy over courageous. Excuses are just comfort disguised as logic. They make you feel better about avoiding the hard stuff. You say you're too busy, but you scroll for hours. You say you're too tired, but you never challenge yourself enough to build energy. You say you don't have the opportunity, but you never go looking for one. And each excuse feels harmless until you look back and realize you traded your potential for convenience. Comfort and excuses don't steal your life in a single moment, they steal it piece by piece, while you're too relaxed to notice. Discipline and responsibility are the only way out of mediocrity. People keep searching for shortcuts, hacks, and overnight success formulas like there's some secret backdoor into a better life. But there isn't. There never has been. Every person you look up to, Every story of success you admire, every overnight, when you see online, they all come from the same two things: someone choosing discipline over comfort and responsibility over excuses. It's not glamorous, it's not fun, but it works, and the reason it works is simple. Discipline forces you to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Responsibility forces you to own the results of your actions, even when they're not pretty. Most people stay average because they rely on motivation, which is about as stable as a cheap phone charger. Some days you have it, most days you don't. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't negotiate. It's the voice in your head that says, "Get up, you're not done." When your body is begging for comfort, and the crazy part, once you start practicing discipline consistently, it stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like power. You start trusting yourself. You start realizing you can push through things you used to run from. That's when life starts shifting. Responsibility is the second half of the equation. It's easy to blame bad luck, bad timing, bad people. It feels good to think the world is the problem, not you. But the moment you take responsibility, real responsibility, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not a victim of circumstance. You're the one steering the ship. Sure, owning your mistakes stings, but it's also freeing. Because if your choices built a mediocre life, your choices can build a better one. Responsibility puts the steering wheel back in your hands, and discipline keeps the engine running. That combination is what separates people who talk about success from people who actually get up and create it. Every moment is a chance to rewrite your direction. Most people don't realize how much power they hold in a single decision. They think change has to be some giant dramatic moment, quitting everything, starting fresh, flipping life upside down overnight. But the truth is way simpler. Your entire story can shift from one choice, one action, one moment where you finally say, "I'm done living like this." People underestimate the weight of these tiny turning points because they look small in the moment. But small doesn't mean insignificant. A plane changes its angle by a single degree and ends up in a completely different country. Your life works the same way. One new habit, one new standard, one new line you refuse to cross anymore, and suddenly the path you're on isn't the same one you were walking yesterday. The problem is, most people wait for the right moment. They wait to feel ready, wait for a sign, wait for life to give them permission. But life doesn't hand out permission slips. It hands out opportunities disguised as uncomfortable choices. And the people who move forward aren't the ones who felt ready, they're the ones who acted even when they weren't. Every second you're breathing is another chance to pivot, adjust, or completely reroute. You don't need a new year, a new month, or some cosmic reset button. You just need to decide. What's wild is how fast things can change once you do. You start shifting your mindset, and suddenly your standards shift. Your actions shift, your surroundings shift. You start attracting better because you're acting better. People think transformation takes years, but the decision to transform, that happens instantly. The moment you choose a different direction, life starts rearranging itself around that choice. You're not stuck, you're just one decision away from a different version of you. No one is coming to save you, you either rise or stay where you are. This is the brutal truth most people refuse to face because it's uncomfortable, and uncomfortable truths aren't convenient. Life isn't fair, and it's not going to hand you a rescue plan just because you wish for one. There's no hero, no fairy godmother, no system secretly rooting for you to win. If you want something, you have to take it. If you want change, you have to make it happen. Waiting for someone else to solve your problems or to give you permission to be great is the fastest route to staying average forever. Every second you sit idle, hoping for rescue, is a second wasted, a second someone else used to get ahead while you stayed in place. People talk about luck like it's magic, but luck is just the result of action. The people who get lucky are the ones actually putting in work, making moves, and refusing to hide behind excuses. Meanwhile, those waiting for help are still scrolling, still procrastinating, still hoping life will magically hand them success without sweat or sacrifice. It doesn't work that way. You want results. You take responsibility. You want power. You earn it. You want freedom. You fight for it. No one is going to do it for you because no one else's life depends on your dreams the way yours does. And here's the thing, realizing no one is coming isn't depressing, it's liberating. It puts the steering wheel right into your hands. You're free to rise, free to push, free to break the patterns that are holding you down. But freedom comes with accountability. You rise or you stay. You take action or you stagnate. Every day you make this choice, and every day you hesitate. The consequences are yours alone. The rescue you're waiting for, it's in you and only in you.